Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95, the Savior. So I'm back at it again, and this time I'm going to be talking about this from a completely different perspective and explaining why Asian men do not like black women. Now, before we get started, I need you to keep a few things in mind. Obviously, I'm a black woman, I'm not an Asian man. I'm speaking from both my own observation, from my experience with talking to people, dating people, as well as, just living here in Asia myself. I've been in Japan for a few years. I'm not an expert on life or on dating or on, mind reading or whatever, but I have most certainly learned and seen a lot both online, in person, and from my own personal experiences, as well as watching and observing those of people that I don't know, as well as my friends, family, etc., both here in Japan and abroad. Please also keep in mind that this video is more so talking about Asia, like the actual country Asia, and not Asian Americans, which are basically American. They're as Asian as I am African. So I'm not going to get into that part, and of course some of this will naturally apply to those that are, Asian American too. But again, I'm speaking more so specifically from those that were born and raised in Asia. So the first thing that you have to keep in mind, kind of piggybacking off of that, is it's all a matter of your experience. I like to say internationalize is the word that I like to use. Someone that's been internationalized is going to be more open-minded. They're more willing to date outside of their race. They're more aware of other races. They understand different cultures, different languages. They're curious. They want to learn more. They're fascinated. They're, not so closed-minded. Those are people that are generally more willing to date outside of their race. They're more willing to learn another language. They're curious about other people. They don't find your differences to be funny, comical, whatever. Those are people that generally don't follow the stereotype of Asians not liking black people overall. And keep in mind, once again, because I know somebody's going to come into my comments, oh, actually my boyfriend or my husband or this guy, sweetie, that's cute. But on average, we can agree that most Asians do not like black people at all. But I'm talking about black women and Asian men in particular. So stay with me here. By that standard, hun, yes, I have met thousands of people here that would do anything to date me. And I've had plenty of dates with plenty of men here. And I've also been in relationships. I am aware that there are exceptions to this rule. And I would say in general, in Asia, especially in Japan, I am perceived as being very beautiful. But I'm also aware there are plenty of people that don't like me simply because I am black. But I want to get into all of that. This video is going to be really long. I wanted to write down notes, but just stay with me. I want to talk freely. So, anyway, someone that's been internationalized is going to be more open-minded to all of these things. These are people that are more willing to date you. But the reason why it even requires them to be internationalized, as I call it, is they've been brainwashed. And it's the same way that we have too. I feel like black people, and even white people, any race, I'm talking about black people because I am black. This video is for us. We focus so much on, oh, well, they've been whitewashed, they've been this, they've been that. And we don't realize that most of us feel the same way about Asians. If you ask the average black person on the street, what do they think of interracial relationships, interracial dating, a lot of them, want to have a black king. The thought of dating outside your race as a black woman is not appealing to most of us overall. Statistics even prove that black women are the least likely to date outside of their race, I believe, than any other race or ethnicity, which is pretty crazy. And I won't lie, from my own observation, I feel like we're the most open and willing to date outside of our race. But it says that we're not even open to it. We prefer black men overall. Now, I won't lie, if not for being here in Asia, I honestly, even here in Asia, I feel more comfortable dating a black guy than I do Asian. And it sounds bad, I know, because my boyfriend is Japanese. But I'm being real. Being realistic, I do feel more comfortable with another black guy. And I'm not going to get into all of that. I can explain that in another video. Don't have time for that right now. But, yeah. So, if we look back at ourselves, then what's our excuse? And then not just that, our reason for why we don't like Asian men is the same why they don't like us. When you think of an Asian man, if you are not into your little fetishy anime and K-pop stuff, I'm not going to judge you, girl. I was there too. I know what it's like. But before you came across K-pop, before you heard of J-pop, before you heard of anime, And if you're a young girl watching my video, then you're lucky, because back in my day, like, we didn't have all of this, anime being shown on regular TV. It wasn't in the mainstream like how it is right now. And because of that, it was a lot harder to see or, experience Asians outside of the stereotypical nerdy, geeky, ugly, no one wants to date him guy that we normally get in movies and TV shows in the US. And if you say, oh, do you like Asian men? The thought of it is comical to most black people, even white people. Because the first thing that comes to your mind is a guy that's short, a guy with a small dick, a guy with glasses that looks geeky, that's not cool, that's skinny, scrawny, and all you think of is this nerdy guy that's really good with math and science. He's a dork, he's feminine, he's not masculine, everything that you wouldn't like as a woman in general. Most women are attracted to men that are tall. You want a guy that has a big dick for obvious reasons. You want a guy that is protective, dominant, masculine, all of these different things. Yes, I know that's cute, sweetheart. I know somebody's going to be in the comments saying, oh, well, actually, I like this. I'm talking about women on average. And not to say that Asian men can't be these things, but think about it. On average, what portrayal do you get of Asian men? Do they look cool like the K-pop stars? Or do we normally see guys that are dorky, geeky looking and lots of jokes about small penises, etc.? Yeah. And because this video is real talk, not even going to sugarcoat stuff to you guys, on average, Asian guys are short and they generally are small down there. I know this is going to make people upset and they're going to be like, no, that's not true. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. And I'm not going to go there with you. Let it speak for itself. Even if you talk to Asian guys and date them, like, you don't even have to get to the point where you're sleeping with them. I have not had sex with every Asian man in the world to know this. No, I understand there's exceptions to this rule. My boyfriend ain't small. Neither was my ex. But that's another story. My point is no, of course, it's never everybody. But on average, yes. And these are things that we don't see as positive. On average, are Asian men muscular? No. On average, are Asian men super dominant, aggressive? No. These are all things that we see as negative. Well, flip the script and look at how they view us. The portrayal that you get of black women, sure, in music videos, they might seem kind of cute, hoes, whatever type thing, but the whole image is what you normally have. You have the whole ghetto, loud, ratchet black woman. And that does not fit into what most Asians, specifically Japanese people, would want in a girlfriend, a wife, or someone that they're going to take serious. This is the type of girl that you pay for, pay your, 220,000 yen, $200 for, 1 hour with. This is not the type of girl you bring home to mom. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's true. I'll even go deeper than that. You also have to keep in mind that just like with black people, colorism exists in Asia as well. I am aware of my own privilege here. People are more willing to date me because I have light skin. People are more willing to approach me because I have light skin versus, let's say, a person with darker skin. I'm not as light as it gets. You can be significantly lighter than I am. But once again, it's little things like this that minorities notice. Colorism is a thing. Do people perceive me as being black? Yes, but normally they assume that I'm also mixed race. Why is that? Because of my complexion. It makes people feel more comfortable with me than, say, a woman with darker skin that might be seen as more dangerous, more of a risk of STDs. That brings me to another stereotype. Just as we see them as being nerdy, geeky, short, small dicks, a lot of them are afraid to even have sex with you, date you, kiss you, whatever, because they've been told that Africans have AIDS. Everyone. They think it's a huge outbreak all across the world that black people just naturally have AIDS. We have HIV, we have STDs, we can't be trusted. It sounds super bad. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just being super blunt and honest with you. What you want to date someone that is known, that, I want to say that's known, that what you want to date from a particular group that statistically has a higher rate of STDs. No. Is it right to generalize and stereotype all of us and say, oh, I can't date a black girl because she might have an STD? No. But I'm helping you understand things from their perspective and how they view it. It is an honest concern and worry that people do have. And if you meet people here that are from Africa and that have shared that, you can probably get some more information from them as far as that goes. My own African friends have shared with me that after dating people and sharing that, they are from the continent Africa and giving their actual country, one of the first things people say is, oh, well, the people that come here, they have money, so they don't have, these diseases or whatever. So if you can't afford to come to Japan, that instantly means that you have HIV then? It's such an ignorant statement. And even for myself, when people try to dig deeper with me, because they're like, oh, well, you can't just be black, you must be whatever, because of your hair, because of your complexion, this, that, and the other. And so I'm like, okay, fine, sure, I'm multiracial, but I identify as being black. Fine, alright? And then one of the ignorant replies that come after that is, oh, that's why you're so beautiful. So you're implying that it's not possible for me to be attractive with dark skin. It's not impossible. I mean, not impossible. It's not possible for me to be attractive with dark skin. It's not possible for me to be attractive if I am 100% black, which I am not. I am, how can I put it? I'm more African than the average African American. Just to let you know, skin complexion, hair texture doesn't mean anything at all. I have a higher African percentage than, I believe, not my mom, but my dad, my brother, and I think my sisters too. Yet I have lighter skin than my sisters and looser curls. But again, don't go based off of complexion, don't go based off of hair texture. Your DNA is completely separate from all of these things. But it's little ignorant statements like that that people don't even think of. They've been conditioned in their mind that black people are dirty, they're ghetto, they're not safe, you're dangerous. It's kind of the same thing that they have in the USA. On average, white people are normally interested in dating black women for pretty much similar reasons. You're seen as not being tame. You're like this wild woman type thing. I am not justifying people's opinions or thoughts on us. I'm just saying it how it is and explaining where they're coming from. And again, instead of getting mad at them, kind of take a look back at ourselves. We feel the same way about other races, and particularly Asians. I remember I went on a date with a Korean guy, and I literally got laughed at by black people for being on a date with him. And I don't even remember exactly what they were saying. I was trying to tune it out. I was embarrassed. I should have defended him more. I didn't know what to do. Like, I was in Chicago, you guys, like, and these were like gangbangers. I'm not about to get my ass killed, but I don't want to think about that. My boyfriend just texted me. Okay, every time I'm trying to make a video. All right, back on subject. So yes, it goes both ways. And again, it's the same situation. You know, just as we have all of these preconceived thoughts and opinions on what Asian men are like, they feel the same way about us. It's not that they're entirely racist and aren't willing to date you. When they think of a black woman, the same picture that you get when you think of an Asian man comes to mind for them. I'm not talking about the fetishy girls that clicked on this video, which might be you that's watching it right now, because now that you have, gotten your new obsession with K-pop, now when you think of Asian men, you think of this really hot, nicely styled guy with perfect hair that's been hairsprayed and lipstick on and perfect foundation, that type of look. But that is not the image that they have of you. That's the image that you have because you have a thing for Asians. Now, an Asian man that has a thing for black girls, then sure, his image of a black girl might be Rhianna, or it might be Beyonce, or whatever the case might be. He has a particular look in mind. He probably likes black music, R&B, hip-hop, whatever, and for that reason, then yeah, he's willing to date because he has a thing, a fetish. He's aware that there are people that look different from the stereotypical image. Same thing goes for you. The reason why you like Asian men is because you've gotten past this, the Hollywood stereotype of the skinny, super short, little dick, defenseless, weak Asian man. And you've seen, oh, there are guys that are attractive. There are men that are masculine. They do not all look like this. They do not all talk like this, and broken English, whatever type thing. You have this really bad image of them. That's the average person. The average Asian person has this really bad image of black women. They view black women as being ghetto, loud, ratchet, untamed, just not civilized. Who would want to be with someone like that? It goes both ways. I wouldn't want to be with a man like that. I understand why a man wouldn't want to be with a woman like that. Does that mean you have to change yourself? No, but I'm pretty sure the average person watching this, hopefully, doesn't act or look like that. I cannot relate to black girls that do that type of stuff. But I'm also aware that that's a stereotype, and that's not everyone, because I most certainly do not talk like that. I don't really use ebonics. I probably accidentally do stuff every once in a while, maybe. But I'm not going to defend the way that I talk or act, but you get what I mean. Even like here, and I have another video that will be about that, but I find myself having to listen to backhanded compliments, which it just goes back into what, I was saying. So like people assume that I'm supposed to talk a certain way. I'm supposed to speak at a certain volume. I'm going to use difficult English because they expect me to talk with ebonics. They expect me to not be comprehensible, whatever the word is, made up a word. They expect me to be this certain way because of my race. And that's not me at all. And it goes the same way for, Asian men. So again, to simplify this video, they don't like black women because of what they think of when a black woman comes to mind. If they saw a beautiful black girl, a girl that does not look or act the way that media portrays all black women to be, then most guys most certainly would be willing to date you. It's not even just, a black woman thing. I live here in Japan, and in Japan, most of my friends, even boyfriends that I've had, people that I've dated, have openly told me I would never date a Chinese girl. And when I asked them, well, then why would you date me then? You could say the same thing. And they're like, what do you mean? I know exactly why they're saying they wouldn't date a Chinese girl. Their excuse, and if you ask them to give their reason, they see them as being dirty, they're loud, they're ghetto. They're not civilized, they don't have good manners. And it's like, those are the same stereotypes they have for us as black women. And so the excuse they give is, they're like, oh, well, if she's really beautiful, I would date her.
Thank you for watching.
And it sounds awful, but again, real talk video, the same thing kind of applies for a black woman. The average guy here, if you say, do you like black girls? No, they absolutely do not. Absolutely no. Why don't they? That's the reason why. And then the black people that do come here, they do stereotypical stuff. They choose a job in a whore-like industry. They, do porn. They decide to become strippers, do whatever. And I'm not here to judge you on your lifestyle. I'm just saying it feeds into the stereotype. And again, guys will find it sexy as hot, but they don't want to bring that type of girl home to mom. They're not going to marry you. They might get you pregnant by accident. But, your average guy is not going to be into a girl like that. And again, the same thing can be said for you. Are there girls in the US that would date a nerdy looking Asian guy that's skinny, scrawny, short, with glasses, really weak, whatever? Yeah, sure, they will. There's always an exception to every rule. But the average black woman, excuse me, I'm spitting all over the camera. The average black woman would not find that to be attractive. And again, it goes both ways. The average Asian man does not find I didn't even get to this part. They won't find a woman that is morbidly obese, doesn't take care of herself, that, looks messy, dresses sloppily, that's loud, ratchet, ghetto, obnoxious, doesn't know how to be feminine, ladylike, docile, whatever. It's so different from their culture. And for us, having a guy that's so skinny, so short, is so different from our culture. We're used to men that are big, tall, masculine, outgoing, total opposite of the average Asian man. Is every Asian man like this weak, whatever? No, that's not true. But again, I'm saying on average, as far as personalities go, Asian men are definitely a lot quieter and more reserved than the average black guy or white guy in the US. Again, this is average generalization. There's an exception to every rule. The person that I'm dating does not fit the stereotypical image because he's been internationalized. So save your breath, sweetheart. I know you're thinking, oh, am I a boyfriend or this guy? Good for you. But that is not the average. For example, I'm a black woman that has dated multiple Asian men. The average black woman would never date an Asian man. And the average black woman that would date an Asian man, it would have to be a man that looks, quote unquote, masculine. Not to say that the guys that I like aren't masculine, but to my female friends, they're not seen as macho or masculine or tough enough, whatever the case might be. You have different tastes in men. I've been internationalized. I'm open-minded. I'm willing to date outside of my race. That's that. Everyone has their own taste. But again, it's all a matter of what the media, portrays. Has a lot to do with it. If you think about it from their perspective, what they see in the media is white skin, white beauty, light-colored eyes, light-colored hair, and white people are portrayed as being beautiful, doll-like, etc. But when they see black people, the only time that we do jobs media-related is we're selling ourselves out. We're making ourselves look like clowns. We, are loud, ghetto. Like, look at the Africans that do come to Japan and do stuff in the media. They're normally doing silly work in which they look like clowns and not attractive, beautiful, sexy. For a lot of people, this is the only opportunity that they will ever have to see or interact with another black person outside of Hollywood movies and, BET music videos, etc. So, if their only image of a black person is them being loud, ghetto, ratchet, a clown, breaking all the rules in Japan or whatever country you happen to be in, why, when someone asks you, how do you feel about dating a black woman? Would you ever date a black girl? Why would you say, yeah, of course I love a black woman, I love to date a black girl? No, you'd probably say no, because the first image that comes to your mind is the ghetto, loud, ratchet chick that you saw on TV. You're not thinking of this hot, sexy, video vixen type model. That's not what comes to your mind, because what you've mostly seen is unattractive black women. The same thing was for me. The thought of dating an Asian guy when I was in grade school was like, no. And I'm just being totally honest. I did not like Asians at all. It wasn't because I was racist. I just didn't see them as being attractive. It wasn't that I wouldn't date them, but if you asked me, oh, do you like Asian men? Well, I like them as much as any other men, but if you're asking, do I have a preference for them? Absolutely not. And that would be my reason why. I did not have any positive images of them in my mind because the media didn't give me any. And I didn't live in an area where there were a lot of Asians. So there was no interaction in my day-to-day life. Japanese people have it the same way. How often do you see a black person here in Japan? I am a black person, and I rarely see a black person. And when I do see a black person, it is almost always a black guy with dark skin that's normally doing something super ignorant, stereotypical, standing in a corner, catcalling, or working one of those jobs where they're trying to force you to go into some shady, sketchy place and rob you of your money and get you to pay for sex type thing. That is not really a positive image in which you see attractive, intelligent, educated black people. And when you don't see them outside in the street like that, then you see them on TV making a fool out of themselves for money. Which, that's cool, do your own thing. But mind you, this is the only experience they have with them. As a black woman myself, I don't even see other black women. And when I do, they're almost always, ghetto, loud, or they're married. But, they're not here for a long time. They're here for short periods of time, and they go home. They don't spend a lot of time interacting with Japanese people. They stay with other black people. If you don't ever interact with Japanese people, how will they get to know you? How can we defy, these stereotypes to change people's perspectives and opinions? Not to say that it's your job to do that, but you have to be realistic. People change their opinions based on experiences. And I can even use myself. Like, this video is kind of going to get off subject, but I think of how I viewed Chinese people, and being in Japan really changed my opinion about Chinese people. I did not have a positive image of Chinese or Koreans, and especially, or shall I say, Chinese, Koreans, and Vietnamese people. And my mind has changed about them significantly, so much, like it made a 180. The nicest people that I've met here in Japan have been Chinese. They're extremely friendly. I think they make the best friends here. I feel the same way about Koreans. They've been very, very sweet. They're very, very humble. They speak perfect English. Vietnamese people are extremely friendly. And my image of them are trying to cheat and scam you at, nail salons and hair, beauty supply stores, etc. And following me and stereotyping me and assuming I'm going to steal from them, etc. Which I can get on that in another video. But after coming into Japan, I realized these people don't represent everyone from Vietnam, everyone from China, everyone from Korea. If I kept that same ignorant image in my mind, where I believe that, all Asians are this way, all, Chinese people are cheap, they can't speak English, or this, that, and the other, I wouldn't have, who I call my Chinese mom, Jessie, right now. Arguably my best female friend here in Japan is a Chinese woman. But if I kept those stupid, ignorant stereotypes, I probably would have never been open to being her friend. She was one of the first people that I met when I came to Japan, and she walked me through, everything, showed me how to get an IC card, took me to update my residence card, took me to get a cell phone. She was extremely sweet to me, and I had never experienced that from an Asian person in the US. I had my own stereotypes about Asian people, and I didn't even realize it, but I did. I didn't trust her. I didn't think she was going to be nice. I didn't care for being friends with her. It wasn't that I hated her or didn't like her. I just told myself, we're roommates. I'm not going to talk to her. She probably thinks I'm going to steal her luggage or something. So I kept my space. And I'm so glad that she was the one that approached me. She was the one that, was motherly and tried to help me out. because I was so ignorant as an American, I wasn't willing to do that. And to get back on subject again, for Japanese people, a lot of them grew up making fun of black people. They think it's funny seeing afros and curly hair and dark skin. Anime even portrays dark skin as being the evil character, the evil side of stuff. Afro hair textures are used as clown wigs. Like, everything about us is seen as comical from their perspective. You have to retrain your brain and unlearn that stuff. They've been taught through their history books, Africa, is this bad, dangerous, dirty country. All you see on TV is, dirty, skinny, scrawny kids with HIV, everyone's starving, everyone's hungry. It doesn't seem safe. And then when you do meet people, then they're loud, obnoxious, they don't follow rules, etc. Is that everyone? Is that true? Is it fair? No, absolutely not. I totally agree. But I am saying that you do have to understand where these people are coming from. So how I see it is, people that have the ability to think for themselves, that use their own brains, that have been internationalized, that have read books, have been open to learning and loving other people, they are more than willing to date black women, more than willing to date other races. But again, their image of what they have is not positive. So in general, for the average person, because they've never seen someone that's as beautiful as you are, they've never seen a black girl with dark, beautiful skin like you have, the thought of dating a black woman is no. Whereas for white people, the ones that you normally get in the media, they speak good Japanese, they're funny, they're cute, they're handsome, they're tall, they have money, etc. You're not seeing them starving, poor, skinny, making fools out of themselves like how we do. Not to say that white people don't and have not taken these jobs. They do, but stay with me. I'm saying on average what you normally get and see. And because of that, this is what has been portrayed as beautiful, rich, what you want to look like, and we are what is portrayed as what you don't want to look like. And I will argue this bit too, that this is completely my opinion, not based on anything. I would argue that another reason why colorism is such a big thing is, think about it. It's not very likely as an Asian person that you are born with white skin and light colored eyes, light colored hair. You most certainly can't be Japanese and be darker than I am. And your hair can be, my hair is as black can get, so you're not going to outdo me there, but you can have darker eyes than I have, you can have the same hair color that I have, you get what I'm saying? Whereas white and light colored features are a rare thing. And this is something that's debatable, but I've always said that I believe that even if slavery were to have never existed on Earth, even if white people had never, made their little, colonized, whatever you call it, these different places, I think that we would still have colorism. I believe that we would still have preferences. And this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people, but I'm just being real. We are attracted to what's rare. We are naturally attracted to things that are not common amongst our race. Even for black people. Most black people, even for black people that don't live in places like that have a lot of white people. We are naturally, most of us, stay with me, attracted to light skin, light colored eyes, long hair. Anything refined features, having a slim nose, having, whatever going on. We like these things. Why is that though? People argue and debate, it's because of slavery, it's because white influence, blah, blah. Yeah, I can believe there's some truth to that. But I think it's also human nature for us to like things that are different. Here in Japan, I get treated as though I'm a lot more beautiful than I really am. I'm not gonna lie, I do believe that I am pretty. I think so. But I don't think I'm as good looking as I get treated here. People literally act like I'm a celebrity and are ready to kiss the ground that I walk on, and are thankful for me giving them the time of day if I reply to their messages, etc. All I hear all day is, you're so beautiful, you're so cute, you look like Rhianna, blah blah blah, stuff all day long. And I got similar attention in the US, I won't lie, but I feel like here is some more of a like, please date me, please, like more desperation. I can't explain it. I feel like I get more attention when I walk outside than I did in the US. I get catcalled more here. I have more people wanting to be with me, wanting to take pictures with me, etc. And the reason is because I am rare. It's not just because I'm this beautiful princess, but I'm basically a unicorn. How often do you see a black woman? Okay, pretty much never. My features look different. I am not what they're used to seeing. And because I look different, I'm seen as quote unquote exotic. I'm unique. And it makes people more attracted to you. I would say the same thing goes for white people. In general, white people are normally kind of exotic if you put them in an area with minorities. The white people inside of school are normally, the cute ones. When people start to get older, that people want to date. Now, of course, it depends on your experience. I have seen white people get bullied going to school, mostly black kids, especially younger children. But at the same time, especially once you get older, you put a white person in a circle with, all black people, everyone's kind of fighting over that person. Or people like certain features from that person. Maybe it's their blue eyes, their blonde hair, etc. It's not necessarily a matter of hating yourself, but we naturally kind of like things that look different. I won't lie, on a personal note, I don't find light-colored eyes or hair to be attractive. I have nothing against light-colored skin, though. I like extremes. I like people with very dark skin, and I like people with very pale skin. And maybe it's because I'm more of a tan person myself, but I don't find tan, brownish skin to be attractive. I like either dark skin men, or I like anyone, doesn't matter what race, but very pale skin. I like dark hair, though. Always like dark hair. It has to be black or brown. Have I dated a blonde? Yes. Can it happen? Yeah, sure. But you get what I'm saying. So again, this is just my own 2 cents, but I believe that we naturally find features attractive that are rare and less common. People normally like 3-type hair in the black community. Why? Because it's not so common. It's rare. Sure, there is influence because of white people, but at the same time, it's also something that is not so common. We like traits and features that aren't common. That's what makes it beautiful. It's something that's unique and different. Something that makes that person different from the next one. And I feel like in Asia it's the same thing. There are no Asians that naturally have blue eyes and or blonde hair that are not mixed race. There's gonna be somebody out there, I know. But you get what I mean. Like, it's just not a normal thing. Same thing goes for black people. The average black person normally has 4-type hair, normally has darker skin, normally, has a large nose, whatever the case is. And for that reason, when we do see someone with a slender nose, someone with light skin, someone with, light colored eyes, long curly hair, things like that, then it's like, oh, they're so attractive, they're so beautiful. So, this video is going a lot longer than it needs to. All I'm saying is, Asians like what is considered as attractive based off of what's rare. Things that are not common amongst their own race. They see white people in the media all the time. They're seen as being beautiful, rich, having money. Their image of black people are ghetto, loud, gangbangers. They have AIDS, they have STDs. They're not civil, they are not educated, they're not intelligent. And this is not just a stereotype brought on by white people, but these are jobs that we as black people choose to accept in the media. We can make up excuses all we want to. I know black people are going to kill me for saying this, but I'm just being real. When we come to Asia, we should not be accepting jobs in which they are making fools out of us and joking about our skin complexion and, making fun of us because of our hair and our nose or whatever the case is, our mouth. It reinforces they're clowns, they're ugly, they're not cute, they're uneducated, they're stupid, they can't speak Japanese, they can't fit in, they can't assimilate. It reinforces, this must be true. And the same thing, goes for following rules here, like even little stuff, not throwing away trash the right way, being loud on trains. White people do it too, but again, I'm just speaking for us. It doesn't help when you reinforce that stereotype that's already been made for you. Same thing can be said for Chinese people. I've made a video on that. Whenever they do something, it's looked at under, a magnifying glass in comparison to other foreigners. There could be a white foreigner and a Chinese foreigner standing in the middle of the street, and no one will say anything to the white one, but they'll be talking crap about the Chinese. Oh, Chinese people are so rude. They have no sense of, blah, blah, other people around them. They're, standing right in the middle of the sidewalk talking. Oh, they move over there. Oh, so noisy. A European family can be doing it right across the street. People just walk around. Oh, so pretty. Sneak pictures. Totally different treatment. And then keep in mind that this image of you doesn't just stop with the person that you're dating. It goes a little bit deeper and further than that. A lot of people, they have to win over their parents too. In Asia, and I know this made people upset, I said this in another video, but it's factual, it's true. This does not mean you don't love your, I did say this in a video. I think I wrote this in a comment on Facebook. I'm not saying that you don't love your family, but people most certainly do kind of love their family more here in Asia, especially in Japan, because I'm speaking on experience from where I live, more so than we do in the US. In the US, if your parents told you not to marry someone or that they didn't love someone, you would listen and consider it, but most of us would do what we want to do. In Japan, that's normally a deal breaker. If your parents aren't happy with the person that you chose, that's the end. You're wrapping it up. You're done. I'm sorry, I loved you. Gotta move on. In the US, you kind of fight and try to get your parents to see things from your perspective. In Japan, not so much. Another reason why their parent might not be okay with them dating a black person, remember, like how I just said, they're concerned about, their child being this way. They have this image that, oh, you cannot raise children properly. I don't want them to be ghetto, loud, ratchet like how you are. I don't want them to have skin like how you do. Because again, your complexion is associated with these things. It's associated with having STDs. It's associated with being uneducated, ignorant, etc. So it's a much harder situation as a black person trying to date an Asian than a white person. And again, this isn't to make you feel bad or whatever. I'm just trying to help you guys understand that it's a little bit more than just strictly, I don't like this race. It's, I don't like the people that I've seen of this race. But if you show me an attractive person, then sure, I will date them. Because most people here are not legitimately racist in that type of sense, where they feel like they're better than you because they're Asian. They just haven't seen any positive examples. I can even say for myself, most of the Asian people that I have been friends with or have dated, they've never dated a foreigner, never dated a black girl, or they've never been friends with a black person. And they'll even tell me, it's kind of ignorant, but fine, I appreciate that I'm someone that can, I don't know, break that stereotype or give a good image of black people for them. They'll say, you don't act like how I thought you were going to. And I know what they're really getting at, but at the same time, it makes me happy because it's like, I'm glad that you got to meet someone that showed you that this is not what black people act like. This is TV, this is entertainment, and those people that you see are clowns. They do not represent all of us. I'm an educated woman. I'm a graduate. I'm working on becoming bilingual. I'm doing stuff. I make good money. I'm not poor. I'm not struggling. I don't have HIV or any type of STD for that matter. And this is stuff that they have not seen or really thought of. They already have inside their mind, this is what black people are like. This is what black people have. This is what black people act like. So is it your job to change the world and show everyone what black people are like? No. But unfortunately, if you want to do good for your race, you kind of have to. It's not fair, but it's just the way that life is. Same thing goes for Asians. They haven't got like an epidemic, can't think of the word right now, but that's going on for them now. They're finally getting roles in TV shows and in movies where they're not having to play the stereotypical can't speak English, stupid, scrawny, nerdy, not cool type guy or girl. Even for their women, they're finally being able to play roles where they're not the desperate Asian girl that's ditzy and just wants some white cock. So things are changing for them too. They're also having to deal with negative images in the media. And for people that have not been abroad, they don't even realize that these images exist. They're so busy thinking of their opinions that they have of you, they haven't really considered what people think of them. So, that's that. I'm sorry this video got so long and winded. All I have to say is, no, there's no such thing as a race not liking a particular race as a whole. Whenever people say that they don't like black women, black men, etc., it's because all they've ever seen are people that are not attractive. That's like someone coming up to you and asking, would you date a homeless man? Well, of course I'd say no. I want a homeless man. I want a man that has an education, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. But that's stupid because that's implying that it's not possible to be attractive and homeless. I almost was. You most certainly can be homeless and still be hot. Would I date a hot guy that was homeless? I probably still would not because I do kind of care about these things. Hey, I have my own, so I want to have his too. But you get what I'm saying. Now that you switch that around a little bit and now say, oh, this guy is attractive, would I date him? I probably would. But when you first say homeless, the image that comes in your mind is this old bearded man that's crazy and probably on drugs. That does not sound attractive to you. When you say a black woman to an Asian man, the first thing that comes to their mind is this ratchet, fat, loud, ghetto, unattractive woman that seems masculine. That is not attractive to them. But if they have a positive image of a beautiful woman, of a woman that acts feminine, which is what most of them like, then yeah, of course they would. But that's not the image that they have in their mind. So when just asked, would you date a black girl, would you date a black woman? No. And then keep in mind, personalities do clash. If you're someone that's, really loud, really out there, whatever, and you're just being you, that's cool. You can find somebody that matches that energy. But on average, most guys don't find that to be attractive here. And it goes both ways. In the US, most girls don't want a guy that's quiet, kind of, to himself, not so outgoing. Okay. Goes both ways. So, that's that. Sorry if I hurt your feelings, just being real. And again, people have their own preferences. Some people like dark skin, some people like light skin, some people like light colored eyes, some people like dark colored eyes, long hair, short hair. There is someone for everyone, anyone, anywhere, whether you are in America, whether you are in Japan, Korea, China, wherever, everywhere stereotypes exist. It is our job, unfortunately, as good citizens of the world, to try and defy and break them as minorities, and to just be more open-minded. Because again, everyone does not act any particular way. I'll even throw in South Asians. I didn't have a good image of people that were Indian or people from Sri Lanka, etc. And I've met really, really nice people here that I did not see when I lived in Chicago. I was used to them not wanting anything to do with me. I've met nothing but very, very nice Indian men and Indian women since I've been here in Japan. Turkish people, Middle Eastern people, etc. My image has changed so much from going to another country. I've been internationalized. I realized how stupid and ignorant I was for thinking other things about these people. But I was only going based off of not only what I had seen and read, but what I saw with my own eyes, my own experience. But my experience was so limited because I hadn't really been to a lot of places. But after having gone to New York, and after having gone to Tokyo, and going to Kobe, and going to Osaka, and Kyoto, now I realize my mind was so limited. I had only been to one city, Chicago. That's all I knew. I went to other cities too, but I was so young then. My mind has changed so much. My perception has changed so much about these countries and these people. I am more open now. They need the same experience. Most Japanese people have never left Japan. All they see is the black people that they have in their movies and on TV. And while of course some people do have a fetish and a thing for black people, the average person doesn't, because the average person isn't going to bother to look into other black people. They just get the stereotypical image that you have on your screen and they stop right there. I had no interest in looking further into Asians. I didn't care about Japan. I didn't care about Korea. When I thought of Asians, I just thought, Chinese, whatever they are. Just wasn't into it. Didn't care. Didn't care for their TV shows, didn't care for their music, none of their media. I didn't care for the people. I had no interest in being friends with an Asian girl, had no interest in dating or being friends with an Asian guy. I wasn't racist, I just didn't think about it, didn't cross my mind. At the time, I simply had no reason to look further into this. So, that's that. Again, long story short, in this video now, Asians don't like black women because they've never seen a beautiful black woman. All they see are ugly, loud, ghetto, ratchet, uneducated people. You show them someone that's attractive, you show them someone that's beautiful, someone that's educated, someone that acts feminine and not like those ghetto, mean-looking ratchet chicks type stuff, then yes, they would be more than willing to date you. Everyone has their own taste. What you consider as beautiful might be ugly here. People like different sizes and shapes too. There are people here that are more than willing to date a girl that is plus size, dark skinned, bald headed, whatever the case might be. with a loud personality. It all depends on the person. Asian men are humans, they're not robots. They have their own brains, they think for themselves. But again, before we get mad at them, we have our own issues too. Because the way that we portray them and view them is seen as comical in our communities too. Sure, there's the fetishizing, glorifying Asian men pages, but the average black girl is not into Asian guys at all. And the same thing goes for Asian men. The average Asian man, the thought of dating a black girl is like, you know, rather date another man. It goes both ways. So that's that. I hope that answered your question somewhat. We can agree to disagree. We can argue in the comments. Let me know what your opinion, your perspective is. What do you think we should do to help change this image? And this is not to force people to date outside of their race, but I personally do think you should be open-minded. I never believe in saying that you like a particular race, because the reality is, if you spend too much time glorifying and liking another race besides your own, you become blinded to the issues that exist. I'm in a relationship with an Asian man, specifically Japanese, but I am aware that there are issues within his race, and I like to talk about them, and I like to learn about them. And he's aware of the issues within my race too. And he also likes to learn and hear about things from my perspective. So, that's that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, leave a comment down below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I hope you will also follow me on my social media pages. I have an Instagram, a Facebook, a Twitter account, and a Snapchat as well. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
It's like love.